Religion. The stories of all the religions are all clearly false. While some of the humans in the various religions probably lived on the surface of planet Earth, for example, Jesus of Nazareth and Muhammad of Mecca, the idea that a human is seen alive after death has never been observed or seen by humans that care for truth. Jesus and Muhammad were both humans made of DNA that did not care for science and truth and took part in the common widespread error of thinking there is a God and telling other humans what the God wants. The word God was made and first seen in print after the sounds and symbols G, A, and D were formed. The words used to describe a god or gods go back in time to the oldest symbols ever recorded by life of Earth. The 5,000-year-old hieroglyphs from Egypt tell of more than one god. The word for god was different at that time. The Egyptian humans described gods with names like Osiris and Ptah. Later, other gods would be made like Marduk, Zeus, Jupiter, Allah, Vishnu, and God. The idea that gods exist goes back to a time when humans tried to explain the universe for the first time. Language is a useful tool to describe the universe and in the search for pleasure and truth. The surviving species that is most close in DNA, the double spiral protein in every cell of every living object on planet Earth, to humans, is the chimpanzee. Humans are different from chimpanzees because humans evolved more developed vocal muscles and a brain of more size with more memory for storing images, sounds, and smells. These changes aided to the chances of humans surviving for enough time to copy. At some time, thousands of years before now, humans started to label the universe. Sad to say that most of these labels have been reduced to not one piece of matter. Why do humans make labels for objects that cannot be seen and do not exist? Nowhere in the universe is there any god or devil. No heaven has ever been found. Only meter after meter of space and matter. Atoms, photons, neutrons, electrons, humans, planets, stars, galaxies are all seen. Spirits and witches never seen. Matter in space is all that is ever seen. There are no gods or devils. Humans made words like Apollo and Zeus to explain the universe, how matter in the universe moves, what the universe is. Eventually, more accurate descriptions were given. What is interesting to think is that perhaps a group of humans did not like the values of the humans that used the word God and made a different word for God called nature. The word science may seem like an abstract word also, different from religion. The word science applies to observed truth, observed through human senses. Observed truth is of more value than stories that are obviously false or have never been seen to be true. Nowhere in the universe is there matter I would call Zeus. There are protons, there are photons, there may be statues made of clay in the shape of a human with the word Zeus, but there is no matter I would call Zeus, Diablo, Poseidon, Marduk, Ptah, or any of the older popular gods. What is interesting is that most humans will agree that there is no Santa. These humans will say when asked that there is no tooth fairy, no spirit, heaven, hell, or God. Not gods. Oh, sorry. These humans will say when asked that there is no tooth fairy, no Easter bunny, perhaps even no angels. But when you say soul, spirit, heaven, hell, or God, not gods, these humans will back out. This is what makes me more special. I move forward when other humans can step forward no further. Even Albert Einstein made the error of thinking a God exists. Isaac Newton made this error. I made this error, and other humans will make this error. I learned and realized now that humans made the word God, and like all the ghosts, witches, and millions of other words, there is no such thing in this universe. If Albert Einstein and Isaac Newton have made this error, what else can be wrong in the thinking of these two humans? This opens the possibility that, like all humans, Einstein and Newton made at least one error. Atheist humans do not make this error, and yet almost no atheist humans are as popular as Einstein and Newton were and are. When a human buys into the most popular money for no service or product system of planet Earth, the idea that there is a God, the human stops and will go no further on the path to truth. Other humans that realize that there is no God or devil continue forward. All religious humans have one thing in common. These humans think that a God exists. What image do humans think of, if any, when when a human hears the word God? Because this word applies to no matter in the universe, most humans have an image of an older male human. Not one of the humans in religion has graduated from a college of science, because of all the humans in all religions. Not one of the humans in religion has graduated from a college of science, because all the humans in all religions have no education and no interest in education. These humans have no skills or care for truth. The humans in the religions are the most stupid with the least education. How can these humans be seen as caring for truth more than other humans? Religious humans never learn from good and smart humans teaching science in the colleges. Most humans in religion have never learned math, typing, to program a computer, anatomy, or to use a musical instrument. But these humans speak to and are listened to by millions of other humans. Humans in religion sometimes try to save appearances for the missing God. Like the astronomy system described by Ptolemy before the star-centered system described by Aristarchus and Copernicus was more popular. For example, humans in radio and television buildings use brain image and sound machines to see and hear what humans and other species with brains think. Some of the humans in the television buildings will repeat what some of the humans watching are thinking. The humans watching have never seen a machine that records the images and sounds brains think of and explain this as a message from God, as coincidence, or as a new machine that can see and hear thoughts. I am happy that television will fall to the internet and the free trade of data or copying of photons and electrons. Life of different planets makes errors, bad decisions. Sometimes the decisions can result in the end of life on that planet. Other times the error is not enough to end life on the planet. Rejecting truth and science while supporting religion, I think, has been an error that could result in the end of life on Earth and in orbit, possibly life of this star system. Words you will never hear in a church, synagogue, temple, and mosque include photon, galaxy, atom, amoeba, planet, species, and star instead of sun. The more religious a human, the less smart. The more religious, the less care for truth. The more religious, the more violent. More religious humans do not want to go to other stars. More religious humans say that the Earth is the world, not just another planet. In fact, the entire universe is called the world to most religious humans. Religious humans are not interested in growing life on other moons and planets, do not care to contain the humans that cause physical damage to other primates, and do not want to make a democracy for all life of Earth. Religion is one of the most serious problems on Earth. The influence of religion is stopping sex, biological mating, touching, the capture, making and trade of images and sounds, the search for truth, science, free thinking, difference in appearance, difference in opinion and pleasure. Humans in religion try to scare other humans by saying that a human will go to hell after death. The human playing Pope this year has told of the pain of being in hell. Dante described what hell is like. Have these humans been to hell? How do these humans get to hell? By car, bike, rocket plane? How can these humans be sure with no photons? These humans must have special bodies, an extra arm, a third ear that lets the human get more data out of the universe than average humans. There is no hell, and humans have been saying there is a hell, and before the word hell, a Hades, and before Hades, some other word or words. These humans are not even telling a new story. Humans pay money to hear the same scary story again and again. Hell is almost always described as being full of fire. I guess the photons in fire are not part of the story. The devil is at almost all times a red-colored human with a black mustache and beard. Sometimes the image of this human will have a tail that looks like a monkey or horsetail. There's no need to make a pretend hell, because religious humans, by stopping pleasure and wasting every precious second telling 2,000-year-old observably false stories, are making a hell here on earth. Religious humans pay no taxes in some parts of Earth. All humans must be thought of as equal in law. There should be no exceptions, not even for humans that tell more accurate stories. A good idea of how stupid religious humans are is that religious humans quote and take advice from humans that lived 2,000 years before now. Most of the humans in religion are quoting text drawn 2,000 years or more before now, a time when there were no planes, cars, electricity, microscopes, telescopes, computers, robots, not even Novocaine. These humans are taking advice from humans that lived 2,000 and more years before now. How accurate could the humans 2,000 and more years before now be? For example, in the Christian religions, humans say a female human was made from the rib of a male human. I want to ask how many humans think this story of a female human made from a male human rib is true, and then laugh for 1 or 2 hours. All the religions on earth hold the idea that there is one God. Before now, there were people that thought more than one God exists. With all the differences between religions, religious humans are united with the idea that one or more God exists. The main religions on earth at this time are Christianity, Judaism, Islam, Buddhism, and Hinduism. Christianity is the idea that one human of the septillions of humans that have been killed on earth somehow had a special connection to a god, was the son of a god. Amazing. How stupid can a human be? No more monarchy, in particular when the human named king is dead. Jesus never contributed to science or cared for truth that is seen and measured. Other humans living at the same time cared more for truth, like Pliny, for example. Why not worship somebody like Hypatia, a human that was killed by Christian humans 1570 years before now? At least Hypatia was interested in the search for truth called science. And there are a number of different religions based on one human, Jesus of Nazareth, a human that was killed on a cross. This is why the cross is the symbol, or crucifix. 2 pieces of wood put together, and a human was nailed on there, nails through the hands and through both feet, and the human would eventually die. That was in a number of days, and that was a painful death. Now people use lethal injection to kill a human, and millions of people were killed on crosses, and there's a Bibles, and as I say, a Bible is just a book, pieces of paper with ink, and what's interesting is that there's a million different religions based on Jesus. There's Christianity, Catholicism, Catholic people, Protestantism, Protestant people. Christian Science, Jehovah's Witnesses, there's the Universalist, Methodist. I mean, there's like thousands. Nobody can keep track. But one thing that seems to be, one thing you can say is that all these religions are based on one human, and that was Jesus of Nazareth. A human that lived, was made of DNA, did nothing special in science, may not even have been able to read English or any other language. I'm not even sure what language Jesus spoke. A number of these religions are completely secretive. Judaism is more old than Christianity. Most Judeo-humans are Jewish humans. Jesus was a Jewish human and went against Judaism, claiming not to actually be God, only being made from the sperm of God. So not the most self-centered, only second most self-centered. So Judaism humans think that there is one God and that Jesus was only a normal human made of DNA. And there's the book, the Torah. That's a book that was made on paper with ink. And really, with religion, humans really need to find out more, and just the basic stories of each religion. And most of the religions, they're all based on false stories. Stories of religions, most are either not true, or most of the stories are false, or if anything, people can only tell like what people were wearing, what tools were being used at the time, like any other book from thousands of years before now. There's the Torah, or the Torah is a religious book, and one of millions of books printed with ink on paper. This is I forget the name of the thing that candles for Hanukkah. These people put candles in the candelabra type of thing. I forgot the name of it. And all religions are so bad and boring that I'm set. And what about the tradition of science? There have been a number of good Jewish people that have contributed to science, female and male. Why not celebrate that tradition?
Islam was started after Christianity by another human that did not add to science and did not care for truth, with the name Muhammad of Mecca. In Islam, God is called Allah and Satan is called Shaitan. Buddhism is seen most in China and other Asian nations, and was formed in India by a human named Buddha, I guess. In Buddhism, there is the idea of a god. Also in Buddhism, like many other religions, is the idea of suffering being good. Science and technology are viewed as bad. One good thing about Buddhism is the belief and practice of nonviolence. Confucianism and Taoism are two other religions in China. What is good in China is the interest in science and atheism. Not good is the lack of democracy. Hinduism is a religion with more than one god. One of the gods is called Shiva, I guess, and also there is Kali, a sort of a god of evil, and then also Vishnu, sort of a positive god. I will have to search for more information on this.
I compare the humans that wear crosses and Stars of David to be similar to the humans in Nazi Germany wearing swastika symbols. The same is true for flags and other symbols. This kind of need to look like other humans, support the idea of a nation and religion, is not good and is something to fear. Huygens said, "The world is my country, science my religion."